doubleheader, and this game should tell us a lot about where the Southside Flyers and the Townsville Fire will be situated for the 2020 Chemist Warehouse season. Good evening and welcome. Great to have your company wherever you're joining us tonight. A lot to learn about the Flyers and the Fire. Jack Heverin joined by a man who needs no introduction, but he will certainly get one anyway as one of Australia's greatest ever, Andrew Gaze. I'm fascinated to see how it all unfolds tonight, Drewy. Welcome.
It is, this whole experiment, nothing but compliments to all those who've been able to put it together. But the games have been great, and we've got another important one tonight. The Southside Flyers, a team absolutely stacked with talent, but has shown that they do still a bit of a work in progress. And to try and combine all those high-level skill guys together, it will take a little bit of time, but I'd much rather be in their position than any other team in the competition.
Both teams 2-1 coming into this game, but for the Flyers in a year where, as I say, it's a whirlwind and it's a big-time whirlwind, no game for the Flyers on Tuesday because of what's going on with the Adelaide Lightning. Townsville played in a really nail-biting contest. Any break, I'd imagine, is worth its weight in gold, isn't it?
Well, it can. I think that when you look at where they're at early start of the season, you're a team with this star-studded lineup. You're trying to ease the nerves and really establish your authority, and sometimes you prefer to keep playing. But and they're going to be tested tonight. This Townsville team, I've been super impressed with. Young team, smallish, so they're going to really test the Flyers, and if they can stretch the floor like we saw with the game against the Melbourne Boomers, then they can really test this team. But they're going to have to be able to make shots because they don't have the size to compete down low when, of course, you're dealing with one of the biggest, the most difficult challenges in the world, not just in the WNBL, with Liz Cambache.
Starting fives in very, very shortly. Let's head courtside to Megan Huswaite for a Townsville home game. Megan, good evening.
Good evening, Jack. Good evening, Gazy. The crowd is starting to fill in here at Townsville Stadium. The Flyers certainly with the crowd on their side tonight. Player management is going to be a hot topic in this WNBL season, and I can tell you that Nadine Payne won't be suiting up for the Townsville Fire tonight. She's being rested given their schedule over the next few days, but it's a big loss for the Fire considering Liz Cambache and the Flyers they're coming up against tonight. Of course, the teams had contrasting Tuesday nights here in Townsville. The Fire played and beat Sydney. Meanwhile, the Flyers game against the Adelaide Lightning was postponed. I caught up with the Flyers' Steph Reid and Beck Cole of Southside Flyers before the game.
I mean, we know it's going to be a physical game. We know they play up tempo. They're going to scrap for every single possession, and you know they're a deep team. So we're just going to come out and play hard, and you know we're going to get after it every possession.
Coming off a good win and some good form early season as well, is there some self-belief in this Fire group?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we just know that we've done the work. We've been going really hard in our pre-season. We've worked our butts off, so you know it's good to come out on the court and show it in the light now, and that's given us the confidence we've got this year.
Beck, you must be glad it's game day. It's been a bit of a wait after the postponement of Tuesday night's match against Adelaide.
It really has. I was talking to Mum and Dad on the phone earlier, being like, I feel like I've not played in about a week because we've just been used to back-to-back games. So we're really ready to, you know, put in another game tonight and hopefully bring back that win.
How did it change your preparations for tonight, given you didn't get to play on Tuesday?
It didn't really change a whole lot. I guess we just had one extra day to really scout Townsville, see what they're good at. They're quite a new roster, young, quick, athletic. So I think we've done some really good work on the floor as well as off the floor with video, and I'm really excited for tonight.
They'll certainly push the ball up the floor quickly, Townsville. That's part of the brand that they're building this season. Starting fives for the Flyers, well, they've been pretty settled in the season so far. Jenna O'Hay will lead the Flyers once again. Beck Cole starting in the guard position with Leilani Mitchell has had a fantastic start to the year. And the Blitzarves-Cambache combination huge for tonight, Gazy.
Oh, absolutely, and you know, they're so athletic, so good size, and going to really test the Fire.
So we're away for the first of two games on Thursday night. Some changes and some significant changes to the Townsville starting five as well. Shyla Heal, what a great challenge for her tonight up against Leilani Mitchell, one of the premier point guards in the competition. Nicholson off the dribble. Kicks it back out to Heal. 7 on the shot clock. It falls short and out of play.
Good first up possession. You want to get rid of the nerves. Everyone gets a touch of the ball, use a lot of the clock, and I think that might be the strategy you see from Townsville. If you get into an athletic contest, against the Flyers, most of the times you're going to come up short.
One of the big changes for Townsville is Kate Gaze into the starting lineup. Here's Beck Cole from the corner. She's off target. Heel can rebound uncontested and push the basketball quickly. Back to Heel at the top. Tries to dribble through Cam Bates. Found a way through. Got it back out to Gaze, who can fire from deep.
And that's why she's out there. We saw in that win the Boomers had against the Flyers. It was really from the three-point line where they did the damage. Shot it at 59%. And that's really the only area they had an advantage in that game and came away with a win.
Only averaging 7 minutes a game in the season so far, Kate Gaze. Cam Bates steps inside, gets the contact and has got one to come.
It is, and Liz can really dominate down low, but she's improved as she's matured is her ability to put the ball to the floor, step around. She catches it at the top of the key and really can put the ball to the deck, change direction, and is a lot more nimble than her size would suggest.
How do you stop that?
With great difficulty, perhaps looking at a zone and just crowd the middle and take the odds to her beating you from the perimeter.
No Nadine Payne tonight as Nicholson found the basketball underneath, misses out, but Townsville get another opportunity. As we heard Megan say pre-game, Shannon Seaborn very conscious of managing the minutes
12 seconds.
in this whirlwind season. It's a big loss for the Fire tonight, no doubt. 12 to work with on the shot clock. Nicholson wants to take it down low on O'Hay, got some contact of her own. Fabulous finish, Lauren Nicholson.
It is, and the rim protection wasn't there. You spread the floor out, and that's what can happen when you've got a team that can be so strong from the perimeter. Then we just see a great drive and not a lot of help. You see Jenna O'Hay saying what's going on here because the weak side help, split line defense was not there on that occasion.
She's had a brilliant start to the year, Lauren Nicholson. She looms large tonight. Cole thought about it. Decides to send it back out to the top with 10 on the shot clock. Mitchell getting busy. Back out to Cole, who dribbles inside. Little floater off target. And so far, Gazy, Townsville's defense standing up. Heel extends the basketball to Nicholson. That's short. Now they can reset into their half-court game. Some good energy from the Fire early. And Shyla Heel does what she does best.
She's been sensational, only 19 years of age, and a lot of her dad in the way. I'm watching this, and it's just uncanny to see the way she goes about it.
Beautiful pass from Mitchell. Cole had forever to size it up. And the quick response from Southside is a good one.
Yes, and Cole leading the Flyers in scoring. She's another great story. Also very good in the 3-on-3 caper.
Yeah. Very highly ranked in the shortened form. Fire by 4, midway through the opening quarter. Nicholson with a tough ask, was up to the challenge, got rid of Cole, but that's deep. Cole comes up with a rebound. Numbers against her, but she doesn't mind, and there's a bit of the 3-on-3 game coming out, Gazy, straight to the rack.
Well, it is, and the off-defensive transition that time by the Fire, not there, and she's one of the best in the competition at getting downhill. Beck Cole, and finds her way for an easy 2.
And the lead is cut to 2. Leilani Mitchell called for the foul.
It's a problem we saw the other night too against the Sydney with Townsville is that their ability to keep players in front. There we see the collision. A little unlucky there by Leilani. But Alison Schwagermeiger Belger, apologies if I messed that name up, but she had a way with getting to the rim, and being able to keep players in front is going to be a key for the Fire.
Nicholson pulls up for 2 off the window, rolls it home. She's had a good start to the game. 4 points from 2 and 5 shooting. Townsville lead by 4. Mitchell brings it all the way back out. Can go cross court. Found its way to Cole. Cambage double team. There's a foul call against McKay.
You've got a big girl, big target down low like Lizzie, I think one of the problems we've seen so far with the Flyers is just their ability to get her the ball in those ideal positions. The entry passes that we saw in that Boomers game, really poor. A lot of turnovers that led to transition baskets.
Cole off the inbound, misses out. Hill with another rebound. And again, looking to get the ball down the court quickly. Wraps around Cambays. From deep, off target was Murray. And now Southside push it. O'Hay underneath the basket. Was worried out of it, got it back. Good hustle. Second time around, no good as well. Fire out rebounding the Flyers so far. Heel with a tough move, denied by Cambays, but she's threw it away. Ball loose on the floor. Good contest between Nicholson and O'Hay. Let's get down to Megan courtside.
Zatina Okuso's just checked into the game. It's the first time she's really come up against Liz Cambays. Zatina was part of the Townsville Fire team that won the championship a couple of years ago when Liz was playing for the Melbourne Boomers, but Zatina was behind a very handy player in Susie Bakovic.
She's done the apprenticeship, that's for sure.
Come back, please.
It's great to see her back out there too. It was a very serious ACL that kept her out of last season. She'll just get a bit of sweat off the court.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. That's great.
Saw that last penetration, Shyla Hill going in and trying to get to the rim. Can't be upset with getting blocked, the occasional block from Liz. You've got to keep taking it at her.
Hay at the top of the key. Mitchell and Hill, been a good duel. Cambays underneath, there's not much you can do about that.
We spoke about some of the entry passes. There was an outstanding one, just across court, lose a little loss of vision, and able to make that cross-court pass for the easy two.
Townsville at the other end, Nicholson from the elbow, got inside and got it back, and second time got the result she was after. Big for Townsville in this first quarter, and they continue to hang on to a slender lead. Liz from deep, no good. Here with another rebound, and again quickly gets beyond halfway. She decides she wants a piece of it herself, and that's short. Flyers navigate their way through. Now in control. 4 minutes to play. Cole went hard, was sent packing by Gaze. Townsville with the outnumber. Nicholson steps inside for the deep two.
Wow.
Kuso with the rebound on Cambays. How good was that?
That was outstanding. Liz just wanting to use her size, and sometimes your fundamentals, even with that size, you've got to box out.
Very quickly takes it up the other end.
How tough is that? Again, working that middle third of the floor, being able to put the ball to the deck, and just nice little floater. Great body control.
Just demanded the basketball. Three ball is on target from Gaze. She's making the most of these starting minutes. Well, 6 points on 2 of 2 from outside the arc.
They're using the formula that we saw against the Boomers. It's the three-point line that's really where they're doing some damage right now. And you can see just the way in which they're looking for the three ball, spread the floor, stretch the floor, and then be able to get to the rim. And need a little bit more ball pressure when you're guarding a Gaze from the three-point line. Excuse me.
So if you missed it earlier, here is the Townsville starting five. As mentioned by Megan before the game, no Nadine Payne tonight. So Lauren Nicholson, Shyla Hill, Mia Murray, Kate Gaze and Megan McKay, the starters. And so far, so good. Everything that Shannon Seabomb's done with their lineup and the way they're playing has worked.
And I think from times the small ball to test Liz. When you've got those shooters, you test it, put them in some pick and rolls, those pick and pops, you can spread the floor, a bit of 5-out action, which they go to on occasions. I think that's another way to combat the size of the Flyers as well. So they've used a 3-guard rotation a bit in some of their games, and I like it. I like the look of the combination that Shannon Seaborn is throwing out there. And it's horses for courses. Kate Gaze hardly saw any time in that close win the other night, and comes out starting role, and that's what you get when you get an experienced player that is not going to lose confidence just because of the circumstances of a particular game and coming off the bench and now coming into a more significant role.
Nice hands from Steph Reid. Comes in very quickly and has an impact, and was busy on Tuesday against Sydney as well. We'll get to Megan in a moment to get an idea for what the feel is in the Townsville camp, but it'll be pretty good. Nicholson took on Campage and lost that battle. And Southside have got an extra number. There's Liz on the trail. Great court coverage.
See what they want to play up tempo. They want to push it, and it has been successful. That's 6 baskets, 6 points already, just through defensive transition errors.
Nice move from Reid, the former Flyer. Can't make that one work. Megan, what was the message from Shannon Seabohm in that timeout?
Very happy Shannon Seabohm. They're going to run something for Lauren Nicholson here, and the message was also to build a wall at the rim to combat Beck Cole. She's been worrying for them in the first quarter.
Not just Beck Cole, it's even when the big girls, Liz running the floor, anyone running the floor, you see their intent. They're getting out and run, so got to build a wall, pack the paint, take the odds. If you're going to give up something, you don't want to give up anything, but if you're going to give up something, make them test them from the three-point line.
Both teams going to their bench. Amy Clydesdale in.
Watching here, watching inside.
Mitchell down low to Cambage. Nice cut from Blitzarves, and the find from Liz just as good. Sarah Blitzarves with her first points of the night. And Southside cut it back to 3, and out of the timeout, Gazy, they've been good.
Yep.
As Akuso draws the contact from Cambage, and she's got free throws to come.
And it's that relentless pressure they put on opposition teams, and when you can clean up the defensive boards and push the floor, it does put up a lot of pressure on your defensive transit. See a nice little pass that time by Gaze, and Liz picks up the hands foul.
Makes good on the first.
One shot.
Carefully been managing the minutes. Her return from injury, averaging 18 minutes a game. She's had a big off-season to have herself ready for WNBL 20. She has 4 points with a couple of minutes to play in the first quarter. It's Townsville, who have led from the start. They've had an answer for every challenge that the Flyers have thrown at them. That's off Townsville hands. The Southside ball from the baseline.
Nice look with that little give and go there. The baseline cut from Lizzie. Nice little drop-off pass. Andrew Bogut, he's the best at that type of paper.
And Southside will get another look at it now.
New clock.
Nice hustle from O'Hay. Pretty easy decision for the officials, off the hands of Mia Murray. Southside very quickly get the answer. Cambage up to 10 points in the opening quarter on 5 of 7. Now they force her to defend. Kuso with the hook, looked good out of the hand, but just rattles out.
Come on.
Body contact coming from Steph Reid.
Saw a bit of Steph Reid when she's growing up, coming through the ranks, playing with the Frankston Blues, and she's a perfect example, not only for players, but for parents out there. She was never really the star of her junior team. Just went about her business, went to college, did some fantastic things over there. I think it was Buffalo University, got them into an NCAA tournament, but just persevered at it, with it, and continued to work at her game, and now she's a legitimate big-time role player in the WNBL.
Heel back out there to finish off the first quarter. Nicholson likewise. Rattles in and out. Nice rebound from Steph Blitzarves. It's Clydesdale. Has Cambage underneath. Found her, and she took care of the rest. That's 12 points.
That is really, really tough to stop, and impressed with Lizzie's mobility up and down the floor.
Reid for 3. off target. Sarah Blitzars with a deep rebound. 1 minute left, and the Flyers have made some good inroads on the deficit in the last couple of minutes. And foul. We'll see free throws coming for the Flyers. This is part of their strength, isn't it, Gazy? Southside, that Cheryl Chambers can go to the bench and has got options galore with who she can use.
Well, you saw what the Fire were trying to do there. When it goes into her and she gets it that deep, they send in that time, they actually sent 3 to her. But when they picked it up, there was the releasing of the pressure, and just her size, she can shoot over opponents. That time gets fouled and works her way to the free throw line. But it's what you're going to have to do. You just can't play single coverage on Liz Cambage.
She's controlled this first quarter, 14 of the 20 Southside points. And they take the lead for the first time in the game on the stroke of quarter time. Hill wraps around, got away from Clydesdale, nice touch.
I think we need to see more of that. They've had a lot of their action coming from the three-point line. And to be able to collapse the defense and then kick it out with that penetration.
Deep 2 from Cambage off target. And then she scraps hard with heel for the basketball. Home crowd won't like that.
I appreciate that from him.
He's only been averaging
He's right on it, so I'm going to give him the
20-odd minutes a game. So they're easing her back into it as well. And given what we've seen tonight, I suspect her minutes might be increased.
She made every single minute count in the first quarter. 10 seconds to work with for the Fire. Akuso with her back to the basket, lost it. Good hands from Blitzarves, but couldn't control it. 4 seconds left for Townsville. Steph Blitzarves returns to the NBL this season, has been working her way back. Very, very good player in her own right. So Nicholson got free, but misses out. And Townsville will take a 1-point lead into quarter time. They led by as much as 8. Southside ever.
She call me Mr.
right hand over.
She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Put me on me box, she says I'm Mr.
Welcome back to Thursday night basketball. Kate Gaze enjoying her minutes in the starting lineup tonight for Townsville. 6 points, a block, 2 of 2. Very handy little move from Shannon Seabom.
It is, and comes in, knocks down a couple of threes, does her job, does it well. And I like the way Townsville have gone about it on the offensive end, the big question, if when you're up against a superior talented team, and that's no disrespect to Townsville, it's about what you're going to do to be able to hold the opposition to a respectable score. If Townsville have got to score over 90 to win, it's going to be tough.
Let's get to Megan, who was listening to Cheryl Chambers at quarter time.
Cheryl Chambers really happy with the Flyers so far. She feels the momentum has begun to swing in their favour. Liz was first to put her hand up and predict that they're going to double her here, and Cheryl just added to that and said, look, girls, we know that's what they're going to do. Let's be proactive and be ahead of the game.
Thank you, Megan.
She passes so well out of that low post, so the double team, you need to put a lot of ball pressure on Lizzie if you're going to do that, because her size, she can pass over the top of defenders.
Nice move from Jarry, but couldn't get the finish that she was looking for. Heel at the top of the key. Hands off. Thought she may have almost gone herself. Shot clock down to 5. Akuso, no room to work with against Cambays, and the Flyers get moving quickly. Jarry, down low, great pass. Liz misses. Good defensive pressure. The Fire didn't give up on the play either. Akuso kept it alive, and Heel sends it to Murray. Extra pass to Steph Reed. Just misses.
That's what Shyla Hill does so well. She penetrates, she can finish at the rim, but she sees the floor. She's one of those girls you'd love to play with, because when the defense does come to her, she dishes it out, and that's another one you'd love to play with, because she is just dominant at both ends of the floor.
16 points on 7 of 11 shooting for the former MVP. That is exceptional vision. Satina Akuso to Mia Murray. That's as good as we've seen tonight. And now the offensive foul against the Flyers, and the home crowd working their way into the game.
Charlotte just trying to fight over the top of the screen, and a little bit of movement. Well, that's how the officials saw it. Yep, geez, not a lot in it. Just a slight pushing out of the from the hips.
Please, let's just keep it professional. Okay, let's keep it professional.
It is a little tough. I think.
This is your warning. Do not continue. Next time it's technical foul, okay?
Technical foul.
Well, I think it was a warning to say.
Behaviour warning on Liz, okay?
Warning
next
on
time
this.
it's technical foul.
Anymore, and I think she might have a fair argument. She doesn't always get the benefit of the doubt with her size.
And I think she's going to come out. Cheryl Chambers.
Well, she's totally dominated. 16 points, 6 boards on 7 of 11 shooting.
Let's get down to Megan. There's a bit happening now.
There's a bit happening, Jack and Gazy, but interesting to see some of those Southside teammates get around Liz. Rachel Jarry and Jenna O'Hare have played a stack of basketball with her for the Bulleen Boomers and the Australian Opals, and Rachel Jarry quick to get in there and just encourage Liz to keep her cool.
Yes. Thank you, Megan. And as we just saw too, Cheryl Chambers just diffused the situation. Lara McSpadden comes in.
Well, the whole look of the game will change a lot now when Lizzie Moon is not in the game. 16 of the 22 points come off her hand.
And we don't see a lot of this from Southside, albeit they're managing Cambasia's minutes, but they do go small without her on the floor. Steph Blitzarves from the corner forces a tough shot. That's quality. Now the turnover. Mitchell was all over the pass, has Sarah Blitzarves on the trail. She's got one extra to come. Southside's really starting to get into motion now.
Well, it is, and they're going to thrive off turnovers. For Townsville to get the win, they need to take care of the ball, and that one there led to a relatively easy basket. It's a different look, but gee, and when you got Sarah Blitzarves to come in there, excuse me, coming in there, as well as Rachel Jarry, you've got two very experienced campaigners.
Australian players in their own right. Rachel Jarry back in the league this year, which is great to see as well. Nicholson defers, that'll be short. Jarry with the rebound on cue. O'Hare now Gets it in the hands of point guard and Mitchell. Blitzarves will be happy with that range. It is. She shoots the basketball beautifully from mid-range.
I like this timeout. Clearly the momentum, it's all going the way of the Flyers, and really good ball movement. Need to very reactive on the defensive end. Need to address what they're doing in those pick and rolls, and that mid-range there is a lot of the times what some teams are willing to give up. But with Blitzarves out there, that's her strength around the basket, gripping it, getting to the rim. That mid-range area can dominate.
And it just seemed, without Liz on the court, that the ball went through a lot of hands for good looks. Yeah,
it is, and it does open up the lanes. Liz so good down on the block and just throwing it in there, and such a presence, and she dominates the ball. And I think that's what you'll see with these Flyers as we move on. They'll learn to play with Liz and find the balance a little bit more.
If it's not there, right, you can, if it's not there, back it out. We go into shakes. Okay, we're going to keep getting to the paint, right? Stay aggressive, right? Look at some more strong out of, or reverse out of transition, right? Just to get it moving a little bit more. We're right here. Here we go.
I like that. I like what he's doing, Shannon Seabold, on that occasion, the instructions. And yeah, you want to get into their on balls, which they're very good at, and their guards in particular. Great distributor of the ball, and they can make things happen in on-ball situations. But I like the fact that they're looking to try and move the play, get it through some hands, get some cutting action, and then get into that on-ball action, just to loosen up the defense.
Shyla Hill has 5 points, go with 3 rebounds. Kate Gaze leads the way with 6. Nicholson now changes that. Lovely move inside. She goes to 8 points. I said this before the game about the season that Lauren Nicholson's having so far. She's playing major minutes and a major role for the Fire.
Well, she did that at college. The last 2 seasons at St Mary's averaged around 17 points a game. And she's a high-level potential next-level player.
Finished 11th in the all-time scoring list at St Mary's.
Played alongside Kate, I believe, for a couple of seasons.
O'Hay from the top of the key gets in on the act.
But when you're looking for upside for the Flyers from what we've seen in their first 3 games, O'Hay is the one. She is a superstar and really hasn't got it going.
And up the other end, has the response from Mia Murray with a 3-ball of her own.
Well, they're 3-12 from the 3-point line.
Mitchell gets inside, and Southside again get the answer, and again maintain their lead. Trailed by 1 at quarter time. They've turned that around to a 5-point lead midway through the second term. Chemist Warehouse WNBL. Thanks for being with us on Thursday Night Basketball. Heel inside to McSpadden, who was on the move. And has been whistled up for an offensive foul.
It looked like it, but if that's the case, it seemed like a lot of movement. Love to see the replay of that one. It's beautiful pass. That's what I'm talking about with the on-ball. Split the gap and sliding across. A little unlucky there.
I'll give you an answer for what it was for in a second. Okay.
Shannon Seabold querying that.
Okay, here you go.
Let's get to Megan courtside.
No Nadine Payne for the Fire tonight, but she's still got a special job for the team. She's taking some specific stats in her notebook for Coach Shannon Seabold.
No such thing as a free meal. Flyers are shooting the lights out in this second quarter. Leilani Mitchell from deep. And they extend to their biggest lead in the match. Hill's quick response is good. Tough move on Sarah Blitzarves. She's doing everything she can, and O'Hay, like a flash, wanted a foul. Hill will get a foul. Just having a discussion with the officials about the call. Not a great deal in it. There's probably more in that one.
A little bit more. A little unusual when we look at the stats so far. The Flyers, they're 2 of 4 from the three-point line, and that's good shooting, but this day and age, the way the game's played, that's not a lot of action from the three-point line.
Heel from deep. Rebound by Steph Blitzarves. Once again, they get beyond halfway quickly. Blitzarves coast to coast. Sarah knocked it back to her, and now Mitchell for another three.
That's a beautiful stroke. See, feet set, and the veteran knocks it down. And worrying signs now continue for the Fire.
Everyone getting in on the act for Southside. Alarming signs here for Townsville. It's out to a 9-point lead, and Blitzarves searching for 2 more off the back of the iron. 4.5 minutes remaining, and the scoring's definitely dried up in this second quarter for Townsville. Nice handles from Heel. Sensational Charlotte Heel.
And
that is superb.
Pushing foul, 1 shot.
She's unfortunately going to have to deal with comparisons with her dad, because her dad was a superstar for the rest of her life.
Got one here, Aiden.
As good as hammer that Shane Hill had with handles, I think Charlotte's got him covered. I hate to say it, but that little behind the back, the shake and bake, and just the step around, and it's so vital in the modern game and how you've got to deal with on balls. You're dealing in tight spaces, a lot of defense, being able to split the gap, and she's done an outstanding job.
She plans on entering the WNBA draft. Some of the early Phantom drafts have got her sort of mid-first round, late first round. Well, that's the sort of stuff that belongs in the elite league. Mitchell again from outside the arc. This time misses out. 6 points is manageable here for Townsville. Steph Reed back out there. Nicholson with 10 to work with. Steps away from Blitzarves. Did everything right. Great rebound, McSpadden. Went back up on Cambays. Loose ball to be won by Townsville. Falls into the arms of Reed from the free throw line. They've got it back to 4 points the difference. Been a very good couple of minutes for the home team. They've looked good since coming out of the timeout. Sarah Blitzarves from the corner, right in front of the Southside bench.
And the kick out, the double team comes, simple kick out. And they nail another three.
Takes the air out of the sails, but Reed continues to fight on.
Coming off players on the strong side, and that time it was Blitzarves the last time down the floor. It's always tough because it's an easy pass out. Usually that double team usually comes from the weak side.
Cambays back out there. Just had a little breather for a few minutes and picks up from where she left off. That's 18 points on 8 of 12. Reed underneath. Very good. Attracted a crowd and found McKay. And O'Hay with the response. End-to-end stuff in this second quarter.
Not as much sophistication with the offensive sets that you see from the Flyers, but just getting it down the floor. They want to make it an athletic contest as much as they possibly can. And that last play is an example of why. Just relentless pressure on the rim, every opportunity. And then if it's not on, you've got this great target down low in Cambays, who 16 points, 7-11 shooting, 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting.
Leilani Mitchell sits down, Amy Clydesdale back in. Crowd wanted a foul. McSpadden
3 second
in the key for a while. Yeah.
Seemed like a quick trigger. I've seen players camp a lot longer in the keyway and not get called for a 3 seconds. Now that might technically be a correct call. I'm not going to dispute it.
But we've seen worse.
Yes.
Flyers by 7 points. Oh, lovely pass. Clydesdale shares with Cambays. And they hustle after the basketball. Steph Blitzarves wins it back. Townsville stand up to it defensively. Nicholson outnumbered, thought about it. Decides discretion's better part of valor. Reed has had a good second quarter and is going to the line.
Well, these guards, they play with great passion, very quick, great ball handling skills, and not afraid to get into the paint, into the traffic, and make something happen. And that time gets rewarded with a foul. Didn't look like a lot in that one either, but in full credit to Reed. And
spent last season at the Flyers, as we mentioned, and the season before that with Dandenong, but has made the move to Queensland to play under Shannon Seabom. She goes 2 from 2. 5 points the difference, coming up to 90 seconds to play before half-time. Blitzarves walk the tightrope. Cole, down low to Cambage, good cut from O'Hay. Excellent vision from Liz as well.
That is a great pass, but fantastic off-the-ball movement by O'Hay, and well-timed. That's just experience being able to read the play and playing at one step, at one pass ahead.
That's not too bad either.
Brilliant high-low action.
Megan McKay with a bullet to Laura Nicholson.
That's the punishment. You front the low post and you get exposed with that high-low action. Great pass.
This is high standard basketball that we're witnessing.
Right here.
2 more for Cambage. 20 points before half-time.
It's a dominant performance, and very difficult when they swing the ball from side to side like that. But when she's that deep, I really think you've got to front it. She's playing behind. Now, it's hard. You say, well, I'm trying to get in front. But it's just that hard to get around. But that's the assignment. Don't concede. Make them throw it over the top and get some weak side help, because too tough if she can catch it that low.
Cambage leads all scorers with 20 points. Jenna O'Hay, all 8 points coming in the second quarter. Leilani Mitchell with a couple of 3 balls is up to 8 points. Sarah Blitzarves 8 points as well, just playing the complete game that she always does.
Yeah, absolutely. The model of consistency this year, averaging 14 and 9, just going about her business, takes what's given to her. Tremendous athlete. And again, unfortunately, I'm old enough to know a lot of these players' parents.
Yes.
Play either alongside them or against them, or get to watch them. But her mum, Karen Ogden, was just dominated with athleticism. One of those ones that used to watch women's basketball back in the day in the 80s and appreciate the skill, but she took the game in Australia to the next level with her athleticism, the way in which she'd get up and down the floor, and that DNA has certainly been passed on.
Across all members of the Blitzarves family.
Yep, Dad was a
Different
genius.
sports. Yeah.
Struck down a little bit by injury, but as a youngster sitting at the old Albert Park Stadium watching the Australian teams play and seeing the lift that he had on his jump shot was something special.
Flyers by 7. Nicholson getting to the bucket. Can't finish it off. Southside looked to push the ball. 5 on 4. Clydesdale unselfishly could have pulled up, but went down low to Blitzarves instead.
And Reed did the right thing. Outsized, jumped in front, they threw it over. Okay, they got away with it, but they were done either way when you've got such a size advantage down low.
Reed with the last action of the first quarter. Drives hard, head down, has got free throws coming again.
Just nice crossover. That's the price you pay. When you're on the wing and you're trying to guard the ball, and Beck Cole is a better defender than what we saw right there. The key is keeping him going one way. So she goes left, and it's the crossover and getting beat, going back to the middle. If you're going to get beat, know where you're going to get beat. Keep him going one way. You've got help on that baseline, and you're able to defend it. Great move, though.
And makes them both count. The Clydesdale thought about getting it off. I'm not sure Blitzar's got it off in time. It doesn't matter. Fantastic second quarter from Southside. 32 points they piled on. They take a 7-point lead into half-time, Andrew Gaze, and their full scoring ability was on show.
It is, and that's going to be the challenge for the Fire. Offensively, the Fire get 43, which is reasonable, or 45, excuse me, but it's the 52 that they're giving up. That's the big conversation they have to have at halftime, is figure out a way to try and limit this juggernaut of an offense, which is the Southside Flyers.
Let's get down to Megan Huswaite.
I'm with Lauren Nicholson. Lauren, you got the momentum back there towards the end of the second quarter as we'll walk you into the rooms, but how do you lock down on D and on the Flyers in the second half?
Look, I think we need to do a better job on Lizzie. She scored, I think, about 15 to 20 points. So if we can do a better job on her and lock down some of the other girls, Jenna and Leigh, I think we'll be in good shape in the second half.
I guess the other issue is when Liz is off, the Flyers are running what they ran last year, which got them into a grand final, so they're just as deadly when she's on the bench.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they've got a really large amount of talent, so we need to pay attention to all of them.
We wish you all the best in the second half.
Yeah,
Thanks, Loz.
thank you.
Lauren Nicholson has had a really good first half of her own. 10 points, but here's the numbers as they stand right now, Andrew Gaze.
And it's very impressive for the Flyers. 59% from the field and 38% from the three-point line. Only the 8 three-point field goal attempts, which is a little unusual, and it's compared to the 4 of 14. Simple equation, tighten up on Lizzie, get your defense right, stop those transition baskets, and hopefully make a few more threes, and you're right back in it. Well and truly in this game is the Townsville Fire.
17 assists to 7, so they're sharing the basketball, and obviously part of that is the fantastic option that they've got down low in Liz Cambage, who, as you'll see, if you have just joined us or missed parts of this game, she's been unstoppable. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. She's been everywhere.
She has, and it really does put so much pressure, not just in the way in which you're going to play her, but how that opens it up for other players as well. And they've still been able to get to the rim way too much. Defensive transition is a real area of concern. And Townsville, they've been able to stay in this with some really good offense. Started off there with only 4 of 14, but Kate Gaze knocked down a couple of threes. But this is the area that's impressed me. These young players, the ability to get into the paint, score those opportunities, or any sort of help there, able to thread the needle and make the extra pass and pick up some cheap baskets. And they're going to need a lot more of that. And down here, being able to contain the Flyers on the defensive end.
So at halftime, Southside lead the way 52-45 on Thursday night. Chemist Warehouse WNBL basketball. We got that.
Jake. Rewrite, come over this way, buddy. Shoot it. We're shooting it all at the same time. I got you, Aaron. I got you. We're going to put a timer at 30 seconds. 30 seconds to see who gets the most balls in the Macca's Cup. Are ready? 30 seconds, starting now. Go. Here goes Rewrite. Oh, Rewrite's a chance. Oh. Rewrite, cheers, Aaron. Jake to the house. Oh, yeah.
It's as picturesque as you could possibly ask for, from the Great Barrier Reef and its tropical islands to the lush rainforests and the World Heritage listed National Parks, Gazy. I could see you walking through there. Townsville is a place to discover and immerse yourself in nature. Queensland, we thank them so much for being the proud host of world-class events such as the Chemist Warehouse WNBL in 2020. We couldn't have a season without them.
No, absolutely. And it is a beautiful place to visit. When we're able to move around a little bit more freely, you go up there, something for every demographic. The oldies, you've got the nature and the stuff. The youngies can get out there and enjoy the nightlife. It's a fantastic city, and well done to the state of Queensland, the government there, the WNBL, and of course the local council in Townsville for what they've been able to provide for the sport.
Townsville, one of the 3 host venues, and it's our host venue for tonight, where the home team, the Fire, started brightly, led by 1 at quarter time, but the second quarter in particular, 32 points to 24, and the Flyers really took control of the game.
Well, they did, and they did it with their transition game. They're showing their athleticism, and they've got to find a way to do something about Liz. She's got 20 points, 7 boards, and very efficiently too, 9 of 14 from the field. And when you've got such a dominant player like that, we saw them trying to run some double teams, but so talented. And look at the athleticism, the way in which he can step around her opponent. Very good on the defensive end as well as a shot protector. But Townsville may want to have a look at some zone defence just to try and pack it in. And the Flyers have been reluctant to shoot the 3 ball. They're just putting heat on the rim, only taking the 8 3-point field goal attempts. But in a zone defence, you can pack it in and protect plays like that where Liz, not only with her scoring ability, but her passing ability, try and find a way to curtail her influence on the game.
And we've seen Townsville try different things. They've taken the ball down low, and Liz has got answers, as you say, as a shot protector, Gazy. The other, I guess, from a Townsville perspective, they have a lot of positives to take away from this first half, but Shyla Heal's performances, and we'll see some of her highlights a little bit later on as well, but she will take it to Liz. She'll take it to all of the Southside defence, and she's been superb to watch tonight.
Oh, my word, she's a star. She's already a star at only 19 years of age, and if you were seeing it on display here, her ball handling and the way in which she can run a team. The point guard duties, not just her scoring, which she's very good at, but the way in which she can get other people involved is critical. And not just her. Nicholson has been really good. She's been a volume shooter, 5 of 15. She hasn't been shy, but that's the type of effort when they go playing small ball. Their guards, a lot of guard influence in their offensive sets, and they're going to have to do that, knock down a few threes. They are well and truly in this game.
It's not over by a long, long way, but Southside looking good at the main break. 52-45, both teams 2-1. And for a win tonight, one team will go inside the top 4. Our ladder looks a little bit skewed at the
Welcome back to Townsville Stadium. Thursday night, Chemist Warehouse WNBL action. Southside Flyers and the Townsville Fire. The Flyers leading 52-45 at the main break. Megan Huswaite, part of our broadcast team tonight, courtside. Megan, you caught up with Cheryl Chambers at halftime.
I did, Jack and Gazy, and the Flyers are going to be putting some work into Lauren Nicholson in the second half, particularly when it comes to size. Cheryl knows the damaging player Nicholson can be. She coached her in a championship at the Sydney Uni Flames just a couple of years ago. She's been a big threat for the Fire in the first half with 10 points, and the Flyers are going to try and nullify her in this second half.
Well, she's been superb, Megan. Thank you very much. The Nicholson-Heel combination, Gazy, they're still getting used to each other, both coming to new teams this year, but they look, I reckon if we pick this conversation up towards the end of the season,
my word,
they're going to look really dangerous together.
Absolutely, and you know what? The frightening thing is the Flyers have got plenty of room for improvement as well, and such depth of talent. We look at player on the screen there, Beck Cole, and she's been leading their team in scoring throughout the 3 games so far at 17.5 points a game. She's only got the 4 points, I think, so far tonight. So she's still got a lot more to give, and I think that as they establish their roles as well, the Flyers have still got some work to do. How you work in these stars that have been accustomed to more high-profile roles, Dina O'Hay, and how you get her going. They will figure that out, and when they do, and they get all clicking, as impressive as we've seen them here tonight, they have still got a lot more in the tank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll be there at the back end of the season. No doubt about that. Townsville, they're fighting hard right now too. 52-45.
It is, and in that game when the Melbourne Boomers beat them, they had 92 points, and when I went through the stats, they only had 20 points in the paint of their 92 points. So from the perimeter, you need to get hot. That says, if you're going to go up against this highly talented Flyers team.
So we're away for the second half. We didn't see a lot of Kate Gaze in that second quarter. Starting the third quarter tonight as well. Into the lineup, no Nadine Payne for Townsville. Nicholson works together with Heel. They look down low for McKay. It was chopped off by Blitzarves. So good at both ends of the floor. And there she is offensively. The pass couldn't find her from Mitchell.
It was the right idea, had the advantage and just threw it behind Blitzarves and goes out of bounds, so Mitchell picks up the turnover.
Here's Nicholson. 10 points to the half. Hill working hard to get free on Mitchell. Shakes, works her way to the cup, draws the foul.
The action you can get going with Reed, Nicholson or Heel on those on balls, as we see Heel get to the rim, draws a foul. I'd love to see them with some high on balls, some really high on balls, drag Lizzie away from the basket, and you've got to make some shots because she's going to be in a drop situations most of the time. But you start making some shots, you force her out, open up those driving lanes even more, and really test Lizzie in those on-ball situations because these guards have got elite skills.
Shyla Heel up to 12 points. She's been in double figures every game this WNBL 20 season. The Flyers, their first couple of possessions have been a little bit sloppy by their lofty standards.
That's terrible. 2 turnovers, back-to-back turnovers. And this is what I was talking about, as we've seen in the game so far. Entry passes. Now, that's not a terrible pass, but you've got a big target down there. Not sure why you didn't just throw it up to the outside hand. You probably didn't need the bounce pass there, and it goes through to the keeper and out of bounds. Simple skill, but highly underrated.
Right here.
Murray hands off to Heel, thought about going down low, instead goes herself. Can't finish that time. Mitchell pushes the basketball. Has O'Hay on the trail. Had her feet set, but good strong defensive work from Gaze. Boxes out Cole and wins the rebound. Now for 3. That's short. front of the rim, and Mitchell with the long rebound. Still 5-point lead of the Flyers. Here's O'Hay, same spot. Can't get that one to go either. Townsville would love to make this possession count. Deep from Murray, good contest for O'Hay and Heel, and both players okay. And the foul's on McKay. Let's have a look on the replay.
It's the miss. Now that's, to me, a no call. Two players going at it. Well, certainly from that angle, just two players going at it. Just a normal collision you'll see in the game, and really a lottery on who you're going to call a foul against.
Flyers 3 of 10. Fire 4 of 16 from outside the arc. Kuso back in for Townsville. In a low-scoring start, Mitchell changes that. Deadly from deep. 11 points on 3 of 4.
Really good rhythm. A couple of threes she's made have been just catch and shoot. That time steps into it. Need to make her put it to the floor.
Beautiful action. As good an offensive set as we've seen tonight from Townsville.
It's just an outstanding pass.
Kuso rolls to the bucket. Mitchell likewise up the other end. Anything you can do, we can do better. Let's get to Megan Huswaite.
Akuso just checking back in for the Fire. She was on the exercise bike here on the Townsville bench a few minutes ago, and I had a chat to her from a safe social distance, of course, here in the hub. She said what struck her most about Liz in the first half was her length. She said, I'm quite long, but Liz is something else, and the physicality is just incredible, but a really good learning experience for Zatina so far.
My word it is, and that length is extraordinary, but it's not just the length, as we spoke about earlier, it's the athleticism, the way in which she can change directions in a relatively short period of time, and in 1 or 2 steps, I should say.
And the way she runs the floor too,
yeah,
it's so unique. Kuso takes it to her, did everything right, just couldn't finish. Mitchell inside to Cambage. Nice set from the Flyers.
Another good pass from Mitchell.
On the ground.
Foul before the act of shooting by Sarah Blitzarves.
Yeah.
10-point lead now to Southside. Blitzarves picks up her second. Fire from the baseline. Big block from Cambage. Kuso fights on, got Cambage in the air, that's tough.
That is just determination. She had one goal and one goal only, and that was to get a shot up. Got blocked, but that didn't deter her. Now that's the best goal that we've seen so far, not just in this game, but throughout her career. That's her strength. Get downhill, get to the rim, and weaves away to the basket. Just a supreme athlete, Ben Cole.
So quick.
So quick.
Lightning quick.
So determined, and just has this wonderful personality. She plays with a smile on her face. And incredible athlete. Change of direction. Slices her way to the basket. And in spectacular condition.
Nicholson drive and finish. Moves up to 12 points now.
The team has been overly impressive on the defensive end.
Cambage for 3. She's done everything else tonight. She may as well knock one down from deep.
She starts making those on a regular basis. She becomes impossible to guard.
Kuso manages to draw a foul. Flyers not too impressed.
What's up?
Third personal foul on Liz, so that'll send her to the bench for a little rest. Ooh.
Heel inbounds for the Flyers. Still plenty of time to go in this quarter, but She steps back. Good looking shot at the back of the rim.
Give us that.
Blitzarms with her 4th rebound on the defensive end. O'Hay's pass chopped off. Nice hands from Akuso, but the Flyers swarm on Townsville and win the basketball back. And now O'Hay, that hurts in a big, big way. That is a dagger from the Southside captain.
My word it is, and again, the pressure is there, they're carrying a hand, the cross-court pass is on. CJ lights out shooter, and you need to make her put it to the floor. She was able to line it up, size it up, and knew that the hand was there, but an experienced veteran that knows the circumstances, knocks it down. That's too easy.
And the lead is expanded once again. It is the Fire, Nicholson and Heel doing the damage with 12 each.
Come down, right, so Loz, you inbound it here. Right, so you inbound the ball, Shy, you get it. Right, we're just coming down. Z, you're going to start low. Right, Loz, you're going to sprint down and pick for her. Right, and then we'll go straight back into another Spain. So now, Shy, you'll come off. Right, if you can turn the corner, good. If not, Z, you roll hard. Look at her, pump fake. Loz, you pop. Right, so now if we throw it back here, you can go in or we can penetrate again. Right, hey, on makes now, let's go head tap. Right, let's go head tap on makes. Right, again, they're going their small lineup, so we're fine with that. Post D, we've got to be aggressive, bump, protect the lane. Here we go. Fire.
When they're talking about Spain action, they're talking about an on-ball and a screen-the-screener. So coming up and setting a screen on the screener and a dive to the basket and the step back. So we'll see if they can get to it.
It's a big lead now for Southside. Both teams 2-1 coming into tonight.
There's the screen, they look for the high-low action. Executed well.
Nicholson had a change of plans though, and Southside had the answers defensively. Cole with a mismatch on Akuso, puts the ball on the floor. Into the corner is Clydesdale. Townsville come up with the basketball. Akuso a long way from the basket. Saw Nicholson underneath. Good find and strong move. Results in free throws.
Really nice play. They throw it in down low, not so much as a scorer, but great passing from that low post position. And the key to that, of course, is one, is the entry pass getting there, and two, the weak side action. What rules they had. That time, I don't know whether it was by design, but got a little help from a screen. And
one shot.
Terrific pass, so good set.
Megan was listening into the Southside timeout.
The Flyers have gone smaller here, and with Rachel Jarry on Zatina Okuso, I guess that's the versatility. With a two-time Olympian like Jarry, she can play in the 5 if needed.
She can. It's just so much versatility that Cheryl Chambers has at her disposal. Mitchell. Shot clock was down to 9. Now Heel in a hurry. Townsville running out of time. Murray for 3. Hay was strong underneath and comes up with it. Quickly to Cole, who drew the foul and can't get it to go down.
Now's the pass. Looked like Charlotte Hill had done a great job of covering it, but just the size recognised, and terrific pass by O'Hay. You see it right on Beck Cole, but that's just a size advantage. Throw it over her head and puts her in a tough defensive situation.
When they've decided to move the basketball quickly, Gazy, and play with a fast tempo, they look fantastic, the Flyers.
They do. They've got a lot of athletes out there. They can dominate the glass with their size and running the floor well. And when you've got such a deep roster that allows you to do that, you can play at that high level for longer periods of time.
Cole 1 from 2. Kuso sends it back out to Heel. Try and manufacture something. Down low to Akuso, guarded by Jarry. Really strong stuff And one play coming up for the Fire.
So it's just a delightful move. Uses her size, a little crab dribble to get closer to the basket and just rises above and puts it in. Terrific move.
What's good? One shot.
She's a player to watch, no question about it. 21 years of age. Part of their 2018 championship team and then was injured for all of last season. Misses the extra there. Good steal from Reed. Came out of nowhere. Certainly caught Beck Cole by surprise and then blows past her. Kuso for 2. Jarry stood up and some contact come from heel.
Just get the sense that Fire just hanging in there, just doing enough to hang in there. This game's threatened to break open, and every time they get an advantage, they've been letting the Fire off the hook with some missed baskets or a turnover. But it's been a great effort by the Fire to hang around and stay this close.
And they've kept this woman quiet in the third quarter. 10 to work with on the shot clock. Steph Blitzhouse wins it back. Now Cole. All the time in the world to size it up. Points will count.
And if it's on the defense, they'll get it back. Not sure who the foul was on. It's in the rebounding contest. Beck Cole all the time in the world.
So foul's on Rachel Jarry. By the look of things.
I believe it was a hold.
For a hold, as you hear there from our officials.
Dan, hold.
And because they're in the bonus, we walk down the other end and
Push.
get a couple of free throws.
This is out on the first, Lauren Nicholson. First season at the Fire. Played the last 3 at Adelaide and was a huge part of their team. Huge pickup in the off-season for Townsville, but should be unhappy with that, missing both.
Oh dear.
Cambage underneath. Walked the tightrope at the baseline and now gets it back. Goes to work on a Kuso. Mid-range 2. Bottom of the net.
That is tough. Great touch by Liz. She is making a statement here tonight.
Just as we said, she's been quiet in the third quarter. She finds a way to get involved once again and now denies Shyla Heel.
Both ends of the floor. Getting it done. 25 points, 8 rebounds on 11 of 16 shooting for Liz.
Inside 3 minutes, Nicholson got past Cole and then finishes off the glass. Heel goes down off the O'Hay screen. Here's Cambage on the trail. Jenna O'Hay's pass was spot on.
It is, and just a lack of awareness.
75-59. Southside leading. 2 minutes 20 to play in the third quarter.
But we've got a collision out there. That last possession, when Liz is running down the floor, you've got to put a body on her in order, and then you see the trip by Cole.
And then Zatina goes down, trying to help her up.
It's on the wet floor. Keystone Cop. But you've got to be aware of this. 27 points now, 8 boards. Really got to be more disruptive. If she can just run in straight lines like she did that last time, it's always going to be tough to stop. You love the enthusiasm, but...
Now the support staff's been called in. The warm one in Townsville. Both teams have, as is the way of this WNBL 20 season, both teams have got plenty to come. Townsville have got Bendigo Saturday and Sunday of this week. And the Flyers will take on Perth on Saturday.
I absolutely, if I was a player, I would love this format of playing a season.
How are those old bones have pulled up?
No problem. When you just get to play, you do a few video sessions, you loosen up, get some shots up, and then you're just playing all the time. That is just how basketball should be played.
Another block from Cambage. The Flyers get moving. Cole, so dangerous on her way to the basket. He's picked up a foul.
Just a determination, head down. No other idea other than getting to the basket.
It's on 4.
Now, I don't know what you expect the defense to do in that circumstance. The defense is there, the offense is slightly out of control, and to me, that's a reward the offense doesn't deserve. But there is the greatest of all time, and daylight between second. Lauren Jackson, an absolute superstar, and how about the work she's doing firstly as a mum, just looking after her kids.
Little icy pole as well.
Secondly, what she's doing to run this WNBL competition along with Basketball Australia and all the challenges they've had. She has been an outstanding addition.
And competition needed to be a bit nimble a couple of days ago with the Adelaide Lightning just needing to press pause, and we found our way through that. Nicholson found her way through and has got free throws coming.
And it's a very good point, and most people are aware, I come from Victoria and have been through some tough times in isolation and the sacrifice we have to make. And a shout out to everyone in South Australia in pretty significant lockdown and tuning into the hoops, I hope. But all the very best to all our South Australians, and just know that the rest of this nation is right behind you, and hoping that you get through this safely and unscathed, and we get back to our COVID normal real soon.
Today was a good result for Adelaide as far as their numbers are concerned. Still some work to do.
Yep.
Let's get down to Megan Huswaite.
Hey, watch the words, please.
Shout out to the Adelaide Lightning, Coach Chris Lucas, Captain Steph Talbot and the team who are watching us tonight on Fox Sports and KO. They are holed up in their rooms in hotel quarantine once again. They've got all the gym equipment's been shipped into the apartments, and they've been boxing as well, so they can mingle with each other, which is a bit of a positive, but they're free on Mondays. So go well, Adelaide girls.
I'll be looking forward to getting back out there, Megan. No doubt about that. Steph Reid on the move. Did everything but finish off. How good a start to the season as Steph Talbot had.
I mean, it's a small sample size, but she is in spectacular form. One of the most enjoyable players we've seen so far.
Cole steps out of bounds.
Leading in a whole bunch of statistical categories. Like I said, very small sample size, and take a look at a little step out of bounds. But
just a foot on the paint.
Steph Talbot, just the lazy 27.5 points a game and 12 rebounds, if you don't mind. And if Adelaide are going to be in the playoffs, she's going to have to continue on that form.
Nicholson picks up her dribble. Steph Reid's got 8 to work with on the shot clock. Has a Kuso on the free throw line. And Southside maintain that 16-point lead. They look to add on to it now. Liz for 3 more. No good. Here's Nicholson moving up the floor quickly. Courtney Wood's out there for some minutes. Great to see. Brisbane native and part of Townsville's team this year, but it's Nicholson from the elbow. Lovely touch.
It is, and she has been super aggressive in this one here tonight, as she's needed to be, and in a variety of different ways.
Not much time to work with here for Southside. Not sure they're fully aware of their surroundings.
Hey, another clock. We might have 2 here. Yeah.
They'll need to try and manufacture something. Shannon Seabob looks on. It's Mitchell a long way from the basket. Uses the screen of Cambage and picks up a foul.
15. Got bonus.
5 seconds remain.
Hard show and just a little late. And Mitchell, using all her experiences, when you've got teams and you're regarding in those circumstances and you know they're hard showing, just drive into the legs, just trying to get there. When you're in the bonus, it's really, really tough to square them up. And if you square them up too much and you've got a stud like Mitchell coming, she splits you and you get beat anyway. So it's really tough in those hard show situations.
All the experience of Leilani Mitchell on show as second one rolls in. Townsville will need to be creative. Nicholson heaves it up. And the Flyers in control at three-quarter time now. They continue on their good form from the second quarter. They bring it into the third. And with a quarter to play, they lead 78-62. WNBL 20, the Chemist Warehouse WNBL. It's Thursday night basketball.
I've been gone for a minute, yeah, had to be free. You want it, I got it, so tell me what you need. I'm unchained.
She leads all scorers tonight with 29 as the Flyers lead 78-62 coming into the last quarter.
It is. It's the 29 points. It's also the 11 rebounds and those intangibles about the intimidation. Even she's got 6 blocks down the other end, but changed a lot of other shots when the guards are driving in there just with that intimidating factor.
Final quarter underway. Flyers playing really nice basketball as Jenna O'Hea has worked her way into this game. 3-point shooting. It's been on full show tonight, 3 of 5. Shout out to everyone involved at Mackay as well. We had 8 games there recently, and it's a team effort to get this Chemist Warehouse WNBL season away, and we thank them so much for their efforts. Much like Townsville and much like Cairns.
Yeah.
Nicholson with room. Not sure you can give her that much room. She'll make it count every time.
No, and she's, as I mentioned, been super aggressive. 9 of 20 now from the field, 21 points.
Cole is deep. Mia Murray with the rebound. And Townsville will need to make every possession count. Sensational vision from Shyla Hill.
Yeah, really threading the needle, and great use of the bounce pass on that occasion.
Points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists for Shyla Hill tonight. O'Hea, nice handles and even better finish.
She's getting back to her absolute very best on the evidence we've seen here tonight.
Hill takes it to Mitchell again. This time goes unwhistled. Mitchell away, heel. Wasn't able to pull the brakes up in time, and she's now got foul trouble.
It is, just lost her balance and gets called for the foul. But that last action we saw, take a look at the foul, just a quick pull up, just wanting to intimidate the shot, not a lot in it, gets called for the foul. But Shyla Heel in those on-ball situations, you're getting Liz who is sitting back and enables those opportunities for those bounce passes. I'd like to see more of it.
Nice drive from Cambage. McKay picks up another foul. That'll be her third,
yeah.
Sorry. It is her fourth, my apologies. It's 30 for Cambage, first time this season.
And won't be the last.
Nope.
Nothing to the crowd, Liz.
She's having a chat as well. And now she might sit down. 31 points. It's been so good for the Flyers tonight. It's just been too hard to stop from a Townsville point of view.
She's a big-time scorer. 4 seasons in the China League, and not as talented as this league, but she's averaging over 30 across her time in China. So she can score with the absolute very best in the world.
McKay with the left hand. That's a nice move from the Perth native. 85-68. So, hey, what do you do about that?
Well, that's just getting too easy. That's just poor defense. The sting has gone out of the defense. There's not a lot of ball pressure, and they're very active now on the defensive end.
She has 18 points. It doesn't feel like that long ago that we were saying that she's been quiet. Foul on Leilani Mitchell.
No, she's going in and out.
She's a star and is capable of putting up some big numbers in her own right. You see Mitchell, and that's the difference. There's that ball pressure that you need. The Fire need to see down the other end. That time it gets called for the foul. They've got to try and be more bullies down the other end of the floor, because the Flyers just having their way with them and getting through their sets with too much ease.
Nicholson almost travelled. May have. McKay goes to work on O'Hay. She's showing some good signs. Only 23 years old, Megan McKay. Just come back from a season in Germany. Plenty of talent. Mitchell found an opening. Off the window, misses out. Jarry stays behind in back plate. Reed shares. Murray unable to make it work.
They're going to need those types of shots to drop. They running out of time, 17 points down. They really need the early ball, the quick ball, a lot of exchanges of the ball, and it all starts with getting some stops down this end.
Sarah Blitzarves. Great defense from Nicholson.
This way.
And then Blitzarves be called for a foul after it. Here on the replay, Gazy Nicholson wearing her like a glove.
Yeah.
Good hands, and then it was just the fend off with the right arm. Unintentional, but hits Nicholson in the head. Gets called for the foul.
5:57 to play, timeout call. Southside lead by 17 points.
Now's the time as a coach you've got to make a decision. Do we go out there and run the risk of losing by 30? Or do we throw a bit of caution to the wind, maybe extend the defense, look for traps, get some exchange of the ball, let it fly from the perimeter, anything early? These are the decisions you make. I don't think they're going to eke out this win.
So here's the breakdown We spoke about Townsville in their first quarter, but it was in that second quarter, Gazy, 32 points to 24 that the Flyers were able to put on Townsville, and ever since then they've been able to dictate the pace of the game.
Yeah, it is, and fatigue looks like it's taking its toll as well on the Fire.
Get a stop. Southside Flyers.
Nice. Cheryl Chambers should be happy with the performance in so much as it's a win. I think she would also concede that it's been an incredible dominant display by Lizzie Cambridge, but there's plenty of room for improvement. Taking reasonable care of the basketball. They've only got the 10 turnovers for the game. Both these teams have been pretty good. 7th and 8th in turnovers per game. Around 13 a game, but I know they've got a lot of improvement still left in this Flyers. Very impressive, talented Flyers out there.
That'll be a travel called on Courtney Woods.
Yeah, one too many.
Let's get to Megan. She's got an injury update from the Fire bench. Megan?
Bet Cole just having a chat to the Southside Flyers physio in that timeout. Bit of an ankle complaint. She's sitting on the bench at the moment. I'm sure they'll take the cautious approach with her. They're driving to Cairns tomorrow ahead of Saturday's game against Perth.
Splash. Steph Blitzarves.
Done well from the three-point line. Up to 45%, 9 of 20. That's outstanding.
McKay was worried out of it. Good defensive pressure from Jarry. Now Jarry on the trail. Full head of steam. Rachel Jarry.
Thank you.
So athletic.
One shot.
Didn't play last year in the WNBL. She's got the hunger back for the game.
Nice.
Great pickup for the Flyers in the off-season.
Southside Flyers, as I said, 9 of 20 from the three-point line, and they lead the league at 43%. And three-point shooting has been down with most of the teams. 6 of the teams that are in the competition are shooting 26% or less. So a lot of improvement by the other teams.
McKay was stripped. That'll be a Flyers basketball.
Townsville, 4 of 21 from the three-point line.
Yeah, that's going to make things difficult, isn't it? Against a team that score as heavily as the Flyers do. That's been evident tonight. Blitzarves for the deep 2. Steph Blitzarves off target. Lead is now 22. Inside 5 minutes to play. That'll help things. Courtney Woods, her first points of the evening. Jarry thought about the 3, settles for the 2.
Nice, good control. Courtney Woods is another one. She has been, throughout her career, an outstanding three-point shooter over at the college ranks, playing at a mid-major college. Another good.
2 more from Steph Reed, by the way.
Penetration by Reed, gets to the basket, and the sting is really starting to go out of this one.
It's a big positive for Townsville tonight is Steph Reed. What she's been able to do. Made the most of her minutes.
I like what this Townsville team's building, though. They can keep this squad together. A lot of young talent. Woods is one of them. She hasn't done all that much, but as we said, outstanding three-point shooter.
Blitzarves, spot up 3 is deep. Woods for another 3, misses. Read her own rebound nicely and then put it back in. Blitzarves off target. Steph Reed doing what needs to be done with the rebound. Now handling the ball. Distributes to Gaze, catch and shoot three. That's how she started the game.
Good penetration and great recognition. Draws the defense, knows where her teammates are, hits it out, passes it out to a three-point shooter, and nothing but the bottom of the net.
And Clydesdale wide open. The three-point shooting in the second half, Gaze, has been
certainly in this last
superb.
It's picked up.
Lead is still 17. Woods goes baseline. Well done. Last 2 minutes. As you heard Megan say there, the Flyers are in the car tomorrow. They'll be a happy team when they hit the freeway too. Oh, 3 for Reed.
When the heat of the game's gone out and you start to relax a little bit, the defensive pressure of the Flyers tapers, you see what firepower this Fire team has at their disposal.
So Monique Conti comes in. Returning to the WNBL, a two-time AFLW Best and Fairest winner. Shortened season, it works in beautifully with everything else she's got going on. And there she is on the attack, couldn't pull down the rebound. So the Flyers content on the bench. Bet Cole with a little bit of ice on the ankle, as Megan reported a short time ago. They don't appear to be majorly concerned with it at this stage. Block. You can hear the Flyers not too happy with the call on Beck Pizzi.
Yeah, it was good rotation. You can see it coming. Third man help. They show the rollers there. Good look, and just doesn't get there quite in time. In fact, might have had her heels on the no charge circle as well.
Gaze gets away from Gilliam. Lays it in with the left. 11 points into the starting lineup for tonight's game.
Look. Black 25. Yeah. Yep.
You're always going to be disappointed in the lot, but you can see him on the screen. It's still going to, when he goes over the tape, there's still going to be a lot to like. It's the work on the defensive end where they need to tighten up the most, and how they can just pack the paint a little bit better, help on your rotation, a little bit more ball pressure.
McKay sits down with 5 fouls. Jarry posting up. McSpadden did enough. Won that individual battle.
Go back, Maddie.
Well played. Jarry not too happy with the call. Another of their off-season pickups,
yes.
Lara McSpadden. A couple of years in Sydney.
Developing player, I'd like to call it. Hasn't played in all the games. I think she's missed one. I think if I got that right, maybe not.
Yeah, she didn't play in one of them.
Yeah.
21 years of
Good
age.
size though, great size, and moves well.
Certainly under the right coach to develop. Woods off the dribble, picks up the foul from Conti. 36 seconds remaining.
Must be tough when you're playing two sports like Monique Conti. I saw her a lot as she was growing up, and just an outstanding talent, incredible athlete. Really quick, great hand-eye coordination, shoots the ball really well. And when you're playing in an elite league like the WNBL, and it's not your sole focus for 12 months of the year, it's tough, and it speaks volumes for her skill that she can even get out there and play at this level and still play AFL.
Yeah, just missing out there off the front of the rim. Game winds down. Conti tries again. She's desperate to get in on the act. And Woods comes up with it. Her pass stolen though. Blitzarv's awake to it. Conti for three to finish it off. That's no good. Points will count though for Taylor. And that'll do. A little bit of party time to finish for Southside. But full time in Townsville. The Flyers' scoring ability on full show. They win 99-89 and go to 3-1 on the season.
That's right, and the engine room of Mitchell, O'Hea and Cambridge, they were outstanding. 18 points to O'Hea, Mitchell with a 15 and a very efficient 5 of 8, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. And Cambridge in 25 or almost 26 minutes of action is able to dish up 31 points and 13 rebounds in a dominant display.
Trailed at quarter time by 1, and then from there, every quarter belonged to Southside. This Townsville team that you can see there, they're young, they're learning.
Yep.
And are learned a lot from tonight.
And they would have learned a lot playing against some Opals that have got a wealth of experience at a variety of different leagues throughout the world. And Nicholson, I think, is great and is going to be a star if she's not already there. We all know about Shyla Hill. She is a superstar in the making, and it's that emergence of players like Reed. I think Woods has got a lot more to offer, so there's a lot to like about the Townsville team. Perhaps need a little bit more help on the inside.
Let's get to Megan, who undoubtedly has our player of the match in Liz Cambage.
She is our player of the match tonight. She's one of the best basketballers in the world, and how lucky are we to have her here in the Chemist Warehouse WNBL. Lizzie, 31 points, 13 boards. How was your night at the office?
Oh, seems all right. I was trying to go for a triple-double there with a few assists, but you know, we had a night off the other day with the Adelaide game getting cancelled, so I've had a couple of days off. I was good to go tonight.
Got your hair done in a few
Got
days
my hair
off?
done. Cornrows, cam beige, acted different out on the court.
How much are you enjoying your basketball with your sisters, as you call them here at the Southside Flyers?
Yeah, it really is a sisterhood, and I'm back with my day ones. You know, I've known Beck Cole since grade 6. Steph Cummings was on my first VC team at the Dandenong Rangers, and you know, I've known most of these girls, Rachel since we were teenagers, Jenna since we were teenagers, so it really is a sisterhood, and it's been a really, really rough year, and the Melbourne girls really kept me going through lockdown in Melbourne. And for everyone in SA that's watching, we're thinking of you and we're with you. I know what it feels like to be in lockdown, but you just got to push through it for this week so it doesn't spread and we can lock it down.
Good message, Lizzie. It has been a tough year. You did quarantine in Adelaide after coming back from the US.
Yeah.
You did quarantine in Brisbane ahead of this season. But how are you enjoying hub life?
I love it. You know, I love these girls so much. It's family, you know. Shez and Snelly, they keep me smiling every day. We got babies. We've got the cutest club. Like, I'm so blessed to be a part of the Flyers, and we're so lucky that the Queensland government let us have this up here. So thank you once again for letting us be able to play our season.
Liz, just a word on Zatina Akuso, an up-and-coming star in Australian basketball. You went head-to-head with her tonight. What did you think?
She's strong, man. She's strong as hell down in the key, and I know she's coming back from injury, and it's going to take her a little bit. She can dunk it. I've seen it. So I know that, like, tonight probably wasn't her best night, but that's not her game. I know she's got a whole lot more to show, and she's come back from injury, so you wait to the end of the season, she'll be balling straight out again.
And Liz off to Cairns tomorrow for a couple of weeks. Are you excited about that?
I'm so excited. I love Townsville, but I'm ready for a little change of scenery. I got some friends in Cairns, so I'm really excited to head up there next.
Good to see you happy and balling, Lizzie. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And congrats on the win tonight.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for supporting.
Beautiful. Liz Cambage, our player of the match. So 101-89, the final score, Andrew Gaze, and they just exerted their authority the longer the game went on.
Well, they did, and you see that the shooting was from the three-point line was a little down for the Fire, and giving up 101 points. Now, I know a lot of that, there was a bit of junk time there that blew that out, but you're not going to beat the Flyers if you've got to shoot more than 100. And I think it was a solid performance by the Fire, but defensively is the area that stuck out the most. Look at the assists that really shone for the Flyers. That Cheryl Chambers would be rapt to see that, because it's an indication of the ball movement, the penetrating the dish, the willingness to make the extra pass. And on the boards, pretty split. So, a lot to like if you're the Fire, but plenty still to improvement left in this Flyers team.
Well, I think Cheryl Chambers will be wrapped with a lot of things from tonight's game, and she's alongside Megan Huswaite.
She sure is, and she has a smile on her face. Cheryl, you had to do it with Lizzie and without Lizzie tonight, but it seemed to work.
Yeah, I thought we had lots of contributors. I mean, and that's the thing about our team. We should be getting, 4 or 5 people in double figures, which we did tonight. And I think our assist count I didn't see what it was in the end, but I'm really happy with the way we shared the ball.
What else pleased you about the win tonight? You did have to wait a couple of days to get out there after the postponement of Tuesday's match against Adelaide.
Yeah, it is a bit weird, and I guess coming from Melbourne, we sort of know what it feels like to be locked down. So to Adelaide, we're thinking of them, and I guess it gives us a chance to say we're thinking of our supporters and our sponsors back in Melbourne that can't get up past the borders.
We've heard so much about the depth that you've got on the squad this year, and we've seen in the opening couple of games a lot of minutes going to Steph Blitzarves and Rachel Jarry. How important is not only their talent, but their wealth of experience?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're not flustered by the pressure or anything like that, so you can put them in at any time, and they're happy to score or play a role, whichever one comes.
Off to Cairns tomorrow. Looking forward to the drive, Cheryl?
I don't know about the drive. I've heard it's pretty, but I'll look forward to getting to Cairns. Yeah, it'll be nice to get there and have a look at a new place.
And take on a new patch of the season. You've got Perth on the weekend.
Yeah, which, every team just comes at us, so we look forward to that, and we know that they're going to come at us hard.
We look forward to it as well. Thank you for joining us. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Fair bit to take away for Cheryl Chambers, but she knows there's a long way to go in the season. So, Gazy, just pick up what you were saying. These are some of our second half highlights we're seeing here, but those takeaways for Shannon Seaborn and this young Townsville team tonight.
Yeah, it is, and offensively, I like their sets. He's an outstanding coach. He's had success with the juniors, and he's going to build this team, and they're starting to put the pieces together. And you see the way in which they move the ball and the cohesion they have on the offensive end, I really like. Just need to put the ball in the hole a little bit more. But it's the biggest issue is what's happening down the other end. I think they're missing that level of size and athleticism. Akuso is going to be great, but and she battled hard in the time we saw her out on the floor here tonight, and she could be that piece as you move forward. Well, she will be that piece, but they need a little bit more, and that's even dealing with a superstar like Cambridge, who's just dominating. Is going to be very, very tough for any team in the world, not just here in the WNBL, but anywhere in the world. She is one of the premier players.
As we mentioned before the game, no Nadine Payne, so that just weakened things a little bit inside for Townsville, but Southside so good tonight. There's Akuso, Liz Cambage, great words too. Liz has done so much in the world game and speaks so glowingly of Zatina Akuso. And then there was Jenna O'Haye, who we didn't see a lot of in the first quarter, but we saw a lot of her by the end.
Yeah, absolutely, and she was playing, comfortable out on the floor, not just with the making some shots, but her body language and the way in which she was going about it.
So there's Zatina Akuso, 21 years of age, has been in the WNBL for a few years now, decided to go against the college pathway instead, staying here and turning pro. And there's Liz Cambage, who's the benchmark when it comes to bigs in world basketball right now. And the Southside Flyers may very well be the benchmark of this
Welcome back to Thursday Night Basketball. Chemist Warehouse WNBL, one of the stars of the season, Liz Cambage, on full show tonight. And, well, for the Southside Flyers, they did a lot of things right, Andrew Gaze. They've got more games to come. Everyone's got more games to come, obviously, in the coming days and weeks. But I just wonder whether the 2 or 3 day break that they got, Southside, as a result of not playing Adelaide earlier in the week, whether that just meant even just a 5% difference tonight with the way they were able to run the floor.
Yeah, maybe, particularly against a younger team that was under pressure against a really athletic team that wanted to get up and down the floor, perhaps. But it's something that everyone's going to have to deal with throughout the course of the season. And the way in which coaches deal with their video analysis is going to be more critical than what you see, because they're not going to get a lot of time on the floor. It's about going over, getting your body right, recovering, and how in which the coaches can break down film and teach in that video environment becomes way more important than what you would when you get that time on the floor.
Megan Huswaite's courtside for us tonight. Megan, there's a lot of smiles coming out of Southside's camp tonight, and with good reason too.
Yeah, they are a happy team, the Southside Flyers, there's no doubt. And I guess what really stood out to me about Liz Cambage tonight wasn't necessarily her performance on court, but how happy she seemed in the interview afterwards. And I think she's just in a really good place, and that's showing obviously in her performances. I was with her and the 3 Victorian teams in the quarantine we did in Brisbane before coming into the hub here in Townsville, and she just dealt with it really well. She seemed to enjoy spending extra time with her teammates, and you heard her, Gazy. She just seems to be happy, and I think for a superstar player like her, that's probably the best thing, not only in this WNBL season, but hopefully heading into an Olympic year next year as the Opals strive to win an historic first ever gold medal for Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comfort when you're surrounded by people you're familiar with, like she said, who you've grown up with, your friends, and you share things outside of basketball as well. And she's travelled a lot in her time in non-English speaking countries and has gone and represented us really well in those leagues. But to be back in that comfort zone where you're living on top of each other, getting to spend every single day, that's not for everyone, but she's got that personality that seems that she really embraces that, and it showed in her basketball performance here tonight.
Megan, are you on the road tomorrow? Everyone else seems to be on the road. Are you jumping in the car?
No, not tomorrow. I'm here in Townsville for our 2 games to broadcast over the weekend, and I'll be in the car off to Cairns on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Safe travels and well done on all of your work courtside tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Megan Huswaite courtside doing an outstanding job. Let's take a look at what's coming up over the next few days. As we know, with this season, it rolls on and on and on. It's all happening very, very quickly. Townsville won't have long to talk about what we saw tonight. They'll dust off their wounds and be back in action against Bendigo, who have had their struggles to start the season. Could be an opportunity to get Townsville while they're a bit sore and a bit tired, but also a great opportunity, Gazy, for the Fire to bounce back.
Oh, absolutely. I think that they're one of those teams that's going to be really on the bubble. I see them as a 4th to 5th and around that area. So these games become really important. As you mentioned, not a lot of recovery time. They'll be may not even get on the floor, just recover and then watch some video and prepare for Bendigo, who that is a bit of a work in progress as well for the Bendigo team.
Capitals are 3-1. They'll be in action on Saturday in Cairns against Sydney Uni, and then Bendigo and Townsville. We mentioned that with the quirks of the fixture, they'll play each other on the Saturday and they'll play each other on the Sunday as well. So as we round out what we've seen tonight, cohesion and working together and being on the same page was one of the big discussion points about Southside coming into the season. Did you see enough tonight to make you think that it's starting to really click?
Well, we saw enough to know that there is sheer talent out there that
we already knew that
is better. But when you're talking about those things that you're referring to, as I mentioned throughout the call, there is room for improvement. The way in which they refine how they use Liz. Liz is going to come up with a lot more talent than what she saw here tonight, and how in which they keep her being able to perform like that against all opponents is going to be the key.
Gazy, thank you very much. A big thanks to Megan and thanks to everyone for being with us. The Chemist Warehouse WNBL season 2020. And we saw a very good team play some very, very good basketball tonight. Stay safe. Thanks for being with us. And we look forward to being back with you on the weekend.